welcome to another one of my Ascension updates. It's pretty loud here today. The energy is intense. You can see the waterfall behind me. It's a rainy day here in Slovenia, but I still managed to go out. I wanted to record a video outside and be with my nature and the elementals and the elves and everything. The reason why I'm doing this update is I'm being strongly guided to, I've been talking about recent shifts, and I've been just reading yesterday in this post that really resonated with me, which said that the first part of the month of September is more about the cleansing and purifying of that old, something that's still, if maybe just 1% of that energy, which is from the old, it's still not that the cycle is completed. I keep saying this lately, there's only 1/9, of the whole that is not yet complete, and it's just something missing there. It needs to be resolved and, stepped into in order for the whole to function and to be, checked, get to the new cycle, because we can never move to the next cycle when the previous one was not yet fully completed. And this is why I feel we're fully completing this right now and we're preparing for the new. So it said in the note that the first part of September is about this preparation and completion and, finalizing those dots on the letter I, and just, in order so we can move to the next stage. I did climb to this high elevated point of this shortcut here, and it feels really good, really elevated. But sometimes 1% might be missing for us to get the whole picture. This is kind of like a preparation stage, and the second part of the month is more about entering the new. So reaping and harvesting this thing that we've been building for so long, and we've been really working towards it. And it's just it, the waterfall, look at all this abundant water. It's always signifying this amazing abundance. But I've been just writing about abundance on my Facebook page before I went outside. True abundance always comes from within, and I received an oracle card about this today, abundance from within, when you're truly complete and whole and unified, and it's just, you're only focused on service, on the whole, and people who are always focused on service are always supported. And I often call these people Ascension pioneers, and you know that. And the pioneering energy is putting into the world something that was never there before and just paving the way ahead. And you're like always maybe an octave or 2 or 3, doesn't matter, it's not about scales. Always a bit higher, so then you're dragging forth, you're like pulling forth all of life to move with you on the scale of planetary ascension, which already happened. If you want to know more about that, please check out Sandra Walter's latest video, her latest Ascension update. Priceless, all the videos she makes. I'm always supporting her work because it's great, it's amazing. Very simple again, but profound. This is the kind of truth that I like. Truth is always simple, but it's profound and it awakens you. So on that note, I wanna read you my automatic writing from yesterday morning. Sometimes in the mornings now I just lie in my bed or just ask for questions. Sometimes I get rhymes or poetry or something, very elvish in nature. But the guidance, specific guidance that I'm receiving a lot is that, we were all tuning into a multidimensional parts of us in this whole unification process. But in this merging of the whole and just being source incarnated, we're really guided to drop all labels. Like, I like to feel my vibration as in terms of being very elvish. And nature and having the wisdom of the elves and speaking about it and putting it out there. But I'm not associating myself as I'm an elf, period. It's not true. We're all tapping into this multidimensional facets of who we are. It's just that, for a certain soul mission that's preparing you for right now, you needed some aspect to be more expressed and, more evolved in a sense. And that's why it was more attributed in that sense. But, even like, for example, an Ascension guide or mentor or a coach or people using all these different labels, it's just tiny, tiny little parts. But in order for us to start a new journey, which is, a huge part of our new life, we need to let go of everything completely. Just let it go. We are those things, but not in an attached form. These are just soul essences being expressed to us. So an elvish nature, for example, is a huge part of me, but it's not the only me that is. I also have a spacey part of me, where, like many different parts, okay? So I was asking about our renewed life path and guidance. I'm shifting and we're all shifting, and so is my purpose. What do I need to know about that? What has changed? Now let me read you the words from here on. Well, the answer always lies within the question itself. The real question should probably be, what hasn't changed, honestly? Does it not already feel like a completely new cycle and a new dawn? The 9-9 portal, which was yesterday, the 9-9 portal only locks and seals that into the time and space continuum of eternity. You know, 9-9 is always about completion and conclusion of cycles, so you can move on, because the number 10 already denotes completion, and you're back to a number 1 again. You know, that's how it goes in creation. It's all in cycles, and tinier cycles within the grander cycles, and, you know, just how it moves. At this point of entry and other previous gateways and openings, everything is already changing for those on the Ascension timeline path. It might not always seem so obvious from the most physical perspective, which sometimes we still look at, and it's not the only perspective and so real, but the feelings deep inside will tell of great changes taking place from within to without and all around. Hear the rhyming part again. Yes, it is true that not everyone will notice and be aware of those changes. It is also true that others will start feeling this in a huge way. Twin soul reunions will begin taking place. People will enter into new stages of their lives, leaving all of the old behind. So if maybe just 1% that's still not, you know, completely there in the new, get that part, you know, bring it back, unify it. So as swiftly as ever, this is happening, entering the new. Money and other support will come, and spontaneous healing, so magical occurrences and events will start taking place. Watch out for those small and big signs and synchronicities which will signal the entering into a new era. It's already happening. On this threshold and crossroads, much of what rang true just a while ago, maybe something we really resonated with a while ago, it just feels weird now, you know, may not anymore, because there was a huge dimensional and preparational shift during the gateway of double twin Merkabahs. Already spoke about that in my last video. Go look at that. This was the preparation entry point, the gateway of laying the foundations of new Earth. In the most recent past, the focus was still on the healing, so the holding, and assisting others through this self path. The self with a capital S, don't forget. Of course, this may still be a path of many. It's always happening in stages and waves, you know, reach on our own timelines. But no longer it is true for the pioneers and frontiers. True, many wish to be called and seen as that vibratory essence, you know, of a pioneer. But a true pioneer is always one who is a few steps before others, acting as a pillar of light and way shower and guide for them through their own embodiment of this pioneering light, of course through that conscious knowing. Many pioneers who came to this planet to assist needed to prepare for what is to come as well. And it is coming, as this is the destined, so that means the chosen path. The destiny is always what you choose. You know, we don't always understand destiny. It's not what we choose. And either we choose through the smaller will of the greater will, the will of the divine, and surrendering to that will of the divine. So this is the chosen path of this planet, and the planet did make its choice, and it did go through the planetary ascension. And the vibratory whole who is choosing a personal ascension. So the planet and those who are choosing to walk, you know, to align and level up with it. So those who are choosing this planetary and personal ascension, pardon me, planetary, pardon me, personal ascension along a planetary one. You do get me, right? It's a waterfall, it's confusing me. It's too much sound, you know, and then I have to speak so loud, and it's just not my nature. I like to speak silently more. This preparation was long, but now it is truly and steadily reaching its final stages, and you know, it's never finalized. You know, you always move to the next step and the next step, and this is the cycle I'm talking about now. It's being finalized. Don't get me wrong, there's no final event or occurrence of this magical date happening. And watch Sandra's video for that, because it really explains it well. So for so many of the knowing pioneers who felt that they knew and carry so much, you know, sometimes it also feels like this weight. Oh, I know too much, you know, people say sometimes. And they feel a huge part in the way they're responsible for it, you know, this knowing. So for those who felt that they knew and carry so much, it also felt like their time is never to come, you know, like you're always going around in circles and something never changes, but this is always because you're still in preparation phase, you know. This is how I was told for myself as well. And there are others, of course. So they felt like always working behind the scenes and never getting paid or repaid for their conscious efforts. This was, in a way, true, but not completely. There's lacking the piece of the puzzle here. All that was worked towards and established by them is being gathered in the sacred pool of light, which is where true abundance and prosperity lie. Not the physical kind, superficial kind. And, you know, I just posted about abundance on my Facebook page, so if you're guided, go read that note. It's really important, because so many people are now talking about the harvesting moon, the money money moon and the harvest being money being all that is. It's like the lowest of the lowest astrological viewpoints we can really see from. Shift higher. What is true abundance? What is true prosperity? If it's only for you, if it's not aligned with the greater whole and the collective, it's not really abundance. Not for me. Not when you're in that level of awareness. So it's being gathered in this pool of light. We don't always see it, but it keeps adding there. Like points, positive points, and one day you're just like, oh, you have all these positive points, you never even used them. Oh, really? You forgot about them already because you've been somewhere else already with your consciousness. So this sacred pool of light which is where true abundance and prosperity lie, I said, not the superficial kind, not the obvious, which is really not the obvious anyway. So now that their time is slowly and steadily coming, this true source of abundance is as well. Ooh. Consider it like a secret wishing well, where everything that was created through and by them, for the highest good of all, was deposited, collected, and gathered. Harvesting time. People say harvesting moon, but the abundance isn't just this money aspect that we keep referring to. It's just true inner prosperity and everything always coming to you that you need for your purpose, which is service to all, by your own authentic individual being, which will always be different and vary. There's so many of us that there are soul purposes and soul extensions of source. That's how it is. So the time of the harvesting is almost here, and then one shall know what to do next, how to be fully within the new, and how to fully embody their inner light in all ways. There are just a few additional shifts and adjustments needed, but the fall or the spring equinox, depending where you are in the hemisphere, will already bring obvious signs of this change, which is very personal and intimate as well, but also collective and global in many ways. Do not worry or bother about new life directions or the linear time of such, shifts and applications of them. Applications of the knowledge and practice. Sometimes a lot of people even ask me, what do I do? What's my purpose? Be your purpose. Everything that's coming up, it's adding together. It's all perfect. Don't become overwhelmed with it and, overburdened by it. It shall come in perfect divine timing. Until then, enjoy your very own personal harvesting season. There's the fall. It's coming, As there is always a pause and celebration before soldiers, warriors, go into the battlefield. Like you have in a movie before they go into the battlefield, like in this ancient times, those have the celebration, lots of food and dance and everything, because they know, you never know what's going to happen next. So they celebrate. So, speaking, of course, metaphorically here, there's no war or, battlefield. You will know what to do and how you are being called to act. It shall be heard within the voice of the divine. Enjoy your harvesting season, beloved ones. Pardon me, there's a whole unity of us. And do not worry about a thing. All shall come to you naturally as you relax and unwind. And yes, like I said, those who are always focusing on service are always supported, no matter how it looks on the outer. There's a lot of people still struggling with that because they don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, it's just not your truth. It's even not about beliefs. It's pure knowing. You know it, period. No more believing it, wishing it. You just know. And that's how it is, period. But like Sandra exposed this really great point today was, she said that a lot of people don't understand the aspect of surrendering, and I fully align with that because I was saying this for eons. I kept repeating that, but it's like nobody heard me, She said, I'm like, oh gosh, that is totally it. Because when people say, I surrender, I let go, but then they don't do anything, True path, when you surrender to the divine will, to something greater, means when you're ready for it. You need to be on that level of awareness to really surrender it, because that will itself guides you then. It's not about, like Sandra said, people surrender and then they just wander about life, confused, go, from one thing to another, but it's not really divine will working through them because their level of awareness is not there yet. But the pioneering spirits, you know what I mean. And also what I was shown to address here is the inner beauty and acknowledging it. Ever since I moved, it's like because I radiated this energy, a lot of people have been drawn to me and writing me and, just overwhelming me with their emails, and everybody wanted to share something with me and their personal stuff. And I really love this truth that, the source expression and the source creativity that we experience is this internal and intimate inner gift. And although I do share personally a lot, I don't share every moment. I don't share every sip of the drink I have, every smoothie I have, every walk I have. I do share aspects of it. But most of the things that are happening in my lives are for me because it's how Source experiences for me. And then I share what I'm being guided to share by the greater presence, by the will of the divine, which I surrendered to years ago in my path. Because I was ready. You need to be ready for that. You know, all other things don't matter. It's not about, you know, whether you're going to party with your friends still or do that or do that. It doesn't matter. You're being called to service, to something greater, and this is happening now. And for us to prepare for this new stage of how we are serving the all that is, it's not like everybody needs to be, like Sandra said, an Ascension guide, or, you know, have their own coaching sessions or anything like that. It doesn't have to be. It can be so simple but so authentic to you, to who you truly are. And people are going to be called in the new world, which we're creating every moment. It's not like a linear event. They're going to be called and they're going to know. And I know that when I was reading Dolores' books, she always, you know, the consciousness working through different people, the subconscious, the superconscious part was always saying, you're going to know, you know, it's going to be so obvious once it represents itself to you. So I wanted to say that, you know, it's about the intimacy of source expression. And there's a lot of people who constantly need to share every single thing they experience with me. And it's, know that when you recognize a source expressed and source acknowledged and source integrated divine human being, you will recognize them by their inner completion, their whole. They don't need to share every aspect. They're living their lives. They're just being, and they're radiating that out. They don't need to do everything in that sense. So if you're guided to share constant stories with me, anything, please know that when you write them to me or to whoever else, there's something your soul wants to tell you through that. It's not for me. It might be shared with me in that moment, but it's not for me. It is always for you. This is how we're starting to embrace our path. My camera cut me off. No more space. It's time to go. Clear sign. Sending you so much love. Enjoy your beauty. It's for you.